Good evening, everyone. Welcome to People's Security Bank Theater at Lackawanna College. My name is Jim Cullen. I'm the director of the theater at Lackawanna College. Thank you for coming to tonight's graduation. Scranton Class 245. Let me hear a nice round of applause to start the evening off. Fantastic. Honor, integrity, and courage. Before we begin, I ask if you have a cell phone or an electronic device that has the potential to make sound, if you would please silence it for us. Thank you for abiding by our no food or drink policy here in the theater. There's really no restrictions on photography. We just ask that you do it politely, and of course we have our in-house photographer, Chris Hughes, who's going to take a great shot of the cadets receiving their diplomas. Make yourself aware of the theater exits nearest you. And now it is once again my great pleasure to introduce to you the director of the Lackawanna College Police Academy, John Chilleri.
Thank you. It's really nice to see all the family and friends of our cadets and friends of our academy here tonight. Without your support and encouragement, the cadets would not be here this evening. Many of our cadets have worked very hard for this day. Most importantly, your support of the cadet and his future in law enforcement will ensure that he has a successful career, or she has a successful career in law enforcement. As we get started this evening, I'd like to introduce some very important people. I'd like to introduce my staff, or as I like to call them, the Academy family. These are the individuals that make it all happen. They make all of this possible. On stage with me is my Assistant Director, Robert Jolly, retired Chief of Police of the Dallas Township Police Department. Also on stage is my Academy Operations Coordinator, retired Captain Willard Oliphant. My Academy Administrative Assistants, Lynn Mellon, who is out here but usually hides somewhere so I can't point her out. She's the one that your academy, your cadet, is most familiar with. Not with us this evening is the other assistant coordinator, Denise Boyle. I've been blessed with a team of dedicated individuals that do an incredible amount of the work to get our cadets here this evening. Without these instructors, this academy would not be here today. We have one of the absolutely best cadre of instructors throughout the state. It's made up of federal, state, and local law enforcement officers from every branch of law enforcement. They share their experience and knowledge to develop the best law enforcement officers and future law enforcement leaders. Can I have any of our instructors that are here this evening please rise? Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce some of our honored guests on stage. The president of Lackawanna College, Mark Volk. John Wershinsky, the chairman of the board, Lackawanna College. Sitting out in front of me, Mr. Dominic DeNaples, a member of the Lackawanna College Board of Trustees. As I previously introduced, Chief Robert Jolly, retired Chief of Dallas Township Police Department, my Assistant Director. Retired Captain Willard Oliphant, Captain of the Pennsylvania State Police, our Academy Operations Coordinator. And our special guest speaker this evening, Lackawanna County District Attorney Mark Powell. And I like to say is one of our new instructors also. Chaplain Monsignor Thomas Muldowney, Pennsylvania State Police, and he'll be doing our invocation tonight. Also with us are Paul Stafersky and Mike Camerata. Paul is the president of the Never Forgotten Motorcycle Ride, and Mike Camerata is the treasurer of the Never Forgotten Motorcycle Ride. And as previously introduced, my friend Chris Hughes, who will be doing the photography for this evening. As you saw enter earlier, there were representatives from the current cadet classes, part-time class 243 and Hazleton part-time class 246, and Hazleton full-time class 247. They're here tonight to support their fellow cadets as they graduate from the academy. How about a round of applause for class 243, 46, and 47. I will now ask all of our guests to please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led by Class Captain Brown, and the invocation will be by Chaplain Monsignor Muldowney, as we welcome Lackawanna College full-time class 245, led by Jim Sweeney on bagpipes. Please remain standing. We will now have our invocation by Monsignor Muldowney. If you would.
Dr. Albert Schweitzer, a great humanitarian, missionary, and medical doctor, once said, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I do know, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." Let us pray. Heavenly Father, today we have come together to recognize and congratulate the members of the Lackawanna College Police Academy who will serve our Commonwealth with honor and integrity. As we congratulate them on this achievement, we offer our gratitude and support as they begin a life of service. May these remarkable individuals who will provide selfless acts of bravery and service to the citizens of this great Commonwealth be protected by your gracious will. May they become ambassadors of peace, justice, and equality. May they have a positive impact on our communities and make them safe. May they always have the grace and strength of perseverance. Give them the blessings of your wisdom to know and to do what is right. Temper their actions with mercy and justice. Fill them with courage to face the challenges that they will endure associated with carrying out their duties. Give them your blessing and provide them with your protection as they assume their roles as law enforcement officers. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Guests may now be seated. Thank you. The cadets of Class 245 will now undergo their final inspection as a class. The Lackawanna College Police Academy is a paramilitary organization, just as police departments are. We require uniforms, conduct inspections, perform drill and ceremony activities. We have a command structure, and the cadets wear their Class A uniforms for this graduation. The final inspection will be conducted by a member of the Lackawanna College Board of Trustees, Dominic DeNaples, who is a veteran of the U.S. Army and a member of the Lackawanna College Board of Trustees and a friend of the Police Academy for many years. He will be assisted by Officer Jeff Hughes, who is also one of our valued instructors, and he is also a veteran of the United States Marine Corps.
Director Caleri, I return to you Class 245. This class is well and duly prepared.
Thank you, Mr. DeNaples. Drill Instructor Hughes, please take command of Class 245. Thank you, Instructor Hughes. How about a round of applause for Class 245? Thank you. We will now hear from a representative of the Lackawanna College Board of Trustees, Mr. Dominic DeNaples, who will now share a few words for the graduating class. Sir.
Thank you, Director. Good evening, welcome, thank you for your attendance. My remarks tonight will be very brief, general in nature, and directed primarily to those 20 graduating cadets. This gathering here tonight for this purpose again demonstrates Lackawanna College's continued contribution and commitment to higher learning, culture, and to getting people job ready here in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Lackawanna College has been educating and conferring degrees for a period spanning 3 centuries. We began way back in the 1800s, all through the 1900s and now well into the 2000s. And tonight, honor, distinction, and pride has come to visit us one more time. Tonight, the honors and the distinction rest with this class 245, those 20 cadets. The pride as always will remain here in the academy, and more especially with all of you, the families of the graduates. More especially because you are the people who helped with the tuition, the transportation, the babysitting, and so forth. And you are also the people that gave them the encouragement and that little extra push to carry on and continue on when the road here at the Academy may have gotten a little bit bumpy. And folks, yes, the road does get rather bumpy. The hill is steep and it's curvy. The way is very challenging and somewhat difficult. However, those cadets know this is the small price that must be paid and the little sacrifice that must be made in exchange for all of this, the bigger privilege and opportunity to be here tonight. Now, this certification, this diploma you received tonight, doesn't come alone. It takes with it certain additional responsibilities on your part. All of a sudden, you're going to become somewhat of a role model. You're going to be looked up to by your friends, your neighbors, your family, and more especially the youth and the children you come in contact with. The bar is now lifted on your personal behavior, and you must conduct yourselves accordingly. How many people here have seen that movie, The Dirty Dozen? Anyone see that Army movie, The Dirty Dozen? I saw it 2 times. Right now, I would like to recall and revisit the part where that newly and quickly made general was asked to inspect the combat-ready troops. And he looked them over and he said, "They look good, but how will they fight?" Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, right here, we have a near similar and paralleling situation. They were well trained. They are well prepared. And they scrubbed up nice and clean. Look at them. They're sharpened up, smartened up. They look good. Do they look great? I think they look great. However, the one remaining unanswered question is, how will they serve? How will they protect the dignity and the integrity of the badge of a police officer? How will they keep it clean, pristine, and free from tarnish and blemish? How will they serve? Class, how will you serve? I have that answer. Tonight, during the final inspection, I walk through the ranks, I visit each and every one of them. And doing so, I look into the eyes and the faces of each one. What am I looking at? What do I see? I do not see doubt, confusion, uncertainties, bewilderment. I see hope, promise, confidence. I see that eagerness and willingness to learn, to discover, and to go forward in life. And life, as we all know, is one constant and continuous learning experience. A young mind, enriched, enlarged, expanded with all of the values and virtues that this certification brings, can never and will never return to its former size because skills, talent, and knowledge are absolutely no burden to carry. When we separate and leave here today, some of you have jobs, others will be seeking employment. You need to be the very, very best at whatever you endeavor into. So set your sights high, point your arrows skywards, and do not be afraid to take that chance, for the biggest loss is taking no chance. Learn to apply the extra effort. Why extra effort? Because the ordinary effort does not always work. What is extra effort? Extra effort lies within. It's in your gut, in your mind, in your backbone. Extra effort is that eagerness and willingness to learn, to discover, and go forward, and the absolute refusal to quit or give up. All good things begin with a vision. Each and every one of you have some kind of a vision. Each and every one of you are loaded with incredible potential. You need to reach inside of yourselves, get a hold of it, shake it loose, and put it to work. The human body and the human mind will perform far, far beyond your expectations, but only if you challenge them. Let's take a look at reality. Look at that real world out there today. Out in that real world today, it's the person who applies himself, the one who digs in, the one who perseveres, the one who lasts the very longest. It is not always the brightest bulb that succeeds in life. Class, do not underestimate yourselves. You can do it. Today you will add to yourselves one new dimension of character. You will add to yourselves an indelible mark of distinction that will remain with you. This certification, this diploma you receive, will bring you the foundation, all of the tools necessary to climb that ladder of success. And tonight, here at this level, you will graduate from the absolute finest and most challenging police academy in this Commonwealth. As it now becomes your turn to maintain, add to, and build upon that long legacy and that very fine reputation that law enforcement has enjoyed throughout the ages. This great reputation is a result of those who served before you. People like some of your presenters here tonight, people like your cadre of instructors. And if you read your program, all of your instructors are listed by name. And further note that they come from all walks of life and every avenue and aspect of law enforcement, and each and every one of them are experts and specialists in their own little focused areas of expertise. And they're here for a few reasons. Well, they're not here for the pay because anything over minimum wage is considered overpayment here. That remark was intended to get a little chuckle. Let me tell you why they're here. They're here because they realize the need and the respect for law enforcement. They're here because they know that everything necessary to become a good police officer cannot be found online or in the textbook. They're here because they want to pass on to you, impart on to you, teach you all that they have learned and experienced throughout their career. And for that, thank you, instructors. Let us give them their well-earned recognition. Okay, class, you're certified, you're going to work, you get up in the morning, you don the uniform of the day, which consists of handguns, no hand grenades, that was years ago. Handguns, handcuffs, protective clothing, communicating devices, and so forth. Tonight, the old man with the gray hair and the bald head wants to give you a few more items to put in your toolbox. And the items I am about to give you, you must always have with you and never leave behind. Number one, your physical endurance. You must maintain your physical endurance. Number two, likewise, your mental endurance. You must maintain your mental endurance accompanied with the ability to evaluate a situation and react promptly, prudently, and correctly. Number three is courage. You must maintain your courage. And finally, and probably the most important of all, good old-fashioned common sense. You're going to have to learn how to know when to policemanize a situation and also when to humanize a situation. And I'm sure that those traits can be honed sharply with experience. On behalf of our president, Mark Vogt, the chairman of the board, John Wersinski, our board of directors, and all here at Lackawanna, we wish you a safe and a successful future. May God bless you, and may God bless and guide our United States of America, and may He watch over you throughout your entire career.
Thank you, Mr. DeNaples. We will now hear from the chairman of the board. John Wersinski, being chairman of the board of this organization, has supported all of the endeavors at Lackawanna College Police Academy. We have undertaken some major changes in the academy over the years, and without the support of the board, this would never take place. Sir?
Good afternoon. I'm truly honored to be here, and congratulations to all of you. What a noble profession you have chosen. You're going to be held to a standard above the average person. You represent truth, justice, equality. You know, Monsignor Muldowney was talking earlier about being ambassadors of peace, justice, and equality. That's a huge responsibility. You know, you're going to hear from District Attorney Powell this evening, the top law enforcement officer in this county. He and his staff have set the tone for justice in this county. Justice doesn't have to be a scary word. I once heard a special agent from the FBI, his name was Special Agent Jones, and he talked about justice, and he used it as an acronym. He broke it down by its letters, and I'm just going to break it down the way he did, just to remind you what justice means. J, of course, is for being just, honorable, an honorable profession. one that's not to be taken lightly. U is for understanding, because you're going to run into some not so bright people who are going to make not so smart decisions. But you're going to have the understanding to be able to decipher that, you know what, this person might need a little help, and I'm here to help them. The S stands for service-minded. By virtue of the fact that you're graduating from this academy, you are committed to service. You know, the Jesuits have a phrase called service above self. You are presenting yourself as an individual who is willing to put service above yourself. The T is for trustworthy. Your word is your honor. Don't go back on it. Don't treat it lightly. If you are a woman and man of your word, a police officer of your word, that means something. It means something to everybody in society because you are entrusted with helping us, protecting us, putting us before yourselves. Trustworthy. I is for intelligence. And I'm not talking about book smart. I could teach anybody to read a book and spit it back to me. I'm talking about your innate intelligence. You're going to be faced with decisions, life and death situations in some cases. You need to have the intellect to gather all the information possible before you make that final decision. There's two responses to everything in life, a response of emotion and a response of intellect. We all like to respond emotionally when we're harmed or somebody's in our face. You don't have the luxury to do that. You need to think. C is for collaboration because you'll be working with communities, other individuals, nationalities, religions. We're all children of God trying to make it in this world, and you're going to help us. And then finally, the E, as Special Agent Jones said, was for enthusiastic. You obviously are in this profession because you want to be, but enthusiastic to the point where you have a passion. You're passionate about something in life. All of you are passionate about law enforcement. You're new graduates about to embark on a wonderful career, one that I'm honored to be part of. And I know that the rest of the family and friends, instructors, and board members, district attorney's office, Monsignor Muldowney, all of us are proud of that fact. So remember that, Justice, and be just and be trustworthy as you start your careers. My congratulations to all of you, and God bless you.
Thank you. At this point in the program, we will introduce the chain of command from Class 245. The chain of command is selected by the Academy Director with the input from the Academy instructors and staff. Several weeks go by before we appoint a chain of command, and there's a reason for that. Before we can appoint a chain of command, they need to start functioning as a unit and stop functioning as individuals. This is part of the cadet training, to introduce them to organizational structure of a police department and understand the importance of leadership and following orders. We have an emphasis on communication, organization, and discipline, which is an absolute requirement of any successful organization or law enforcement officer. As I announce your name, please stand. The chain of command for Class 245. Captain Elijah Brown, Lieutenant Nelson, Sergeant Haynes, and Sergeant Luciano. There you have the chain of command for Class 245. Take your seats. Captain Brown has led his unit throughout this experience. And I'm sure there were some very challenging times, correct, sir? There you go. We will now hear some remarks from the captain of Class 245, Captain Brown.
Good evening, everyone. To begin, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to Director Chilleri and the staff and administration here at Lackawanna College Police Academy. You've awarded us not only a great opportunity, but a noble career. I would like to say thank you to our instructors. In addition to the academic requirements, you have instilled in us lessons, both personal and practical. Your personal lessons have helped us grow and mature, and your practical lessons may one day help save our lives. Finally, I would like to say thank you to you all, our friends and family. Though you understand this is a normal career, it often may come with risks. Despite that, you have supported us in choosing this career, as well as the past few months that we have been in the police academy. To my class, my fellow cadets, Class 245, we have finally made it. It's been a long 9 months, but we have successfully made it to the finish line that we have so impatiently been waiting for. As I reminisce on this journey, I remember the first day just as though it was yesterday. Although all of us wandering into the academy, unsure of what to expect, individually we had to endure physical punishment of our academy chair and other such things as push-ups. Well, except for Harvey. Somehow he managed to get out of it. I also remember us being scared as Mr. Brown yelled at us on day 1, screaming in our faces. In fact, Haynes was so scared, she thought that the middle letter in academy was I. Others thought that academy had 9 letters. Since then, we have grown together, learning much about each other and also from each other. We have grown from strangers to friends to family. Throughout our diverse backgrounds, you all have so much knowledge in different areas of expertise, from veterans to athletes such as Bailey and Lackawanna, a fireman in Macedo, a boxer in Morales, and a nursing assistant in Haynes. This program has brought out the scholar in all of us, but I'm sure we have all benefited from Merkel's flashcards. The last 9 months of us sitting in the classroom seems as though it would never end, but we have definitely had moments to remember. I'll never forget our first real moment of personal bonding as we went shopping and took turns on the grill at EVOC. Another moment to remember was our time in defensive tactics. As we learned how to properly defend ourselves, we had those like Shalasta who were ahead of the game, skilled in jiu-jitsu and grappling. Don't forget you owe me a rematch. The classroom was daunting, but these were the lessons that were the foundation of our careers. Through the 27 tests, we have all had our fair share of stress, but we will never forget the pre-test cram sessions and trying to remember every single detail that we thought would be on the test. In the end, we have learned a great deal, and we have seen the results of our efforts as we have thrived, and here we are today. One thing that was reiterated to us so many times by so many different instructors is that complacency can be deadly. Many of us are going to police in cities, townships, and boroughs that we are familiar with, but that does not mean that we know what to expect. We will face many dangers and trying times, but we will also have so many triumphs. As we move on our various journeys, remember that the #1 rule is to go home at night. So So be safe, be vigilant, and be the best you can be. Thank you.
Very well done. We will now hear from our guest speaker. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Lackawanna County District Attorney Mark Powell. Attorney Powell is a true crime fighter for the citizens of Lackawanna County and an advocate for victims of crime. I've come to know Attorney Powell over the years, being a police officer in Moosic. I can tell you that his integrity is above and beyond. Mark Powell and his family have a long tradition in Lackawanna County legal community. Both his father and grandfather were attorneys. His grandfather founded the Powell Law Firm in 1906 and later served as the first assistant district attorney in Lackawanna County in 1934 to 1941. Mark Powell practiced in the family law firm before sworn in as district attorney in Lackawanna County on January 2nd, 2018. He earned his undergraduate degree from Villanova University and his Juris Doctor from Catholic University. After practicing law for several years, Attorney Powell went back to school and obtained a Master's of Law in Trial Advocacy from Temple University, where he graduated with honors. Attorney Powell has obtained many professional accolades that include the rare distinction of being a board-certified trial specialist in criminal law and civil law by the National Board of Trial Advocacy. For 12 years, he served as a hearing committee member for the Pennsylvania Disciplinary Board, where he made recommendations for punishment and disposition of lawyers who violated the ethical standards of law. He is a past president of the Northeast Pennsylvania Trial Lawyers Association and received the organization's highest award for his exemplary character, compassion for victims. Attorney Powell devotes a great deal of his time to teaching other lawyers, and I'm honored to say, now teaching cadets. For 7 years, he co-chaired the Lackawanna County Bench Bar Conference and remains active on the Education Committee. He has lectured extensively on jury selection, focus groups, high-tech exhibits, expert testimony, trial advocacy, and advanced trial advocacy. In 2016, the National Institute of Trial Advocacy awarded him the Teaching Excellence Award at the Advanced Trial Advocacy Program in Washington, D.C. I'm honored and delighted to introduce my friend, Mark Powell.
Members of the board, President Volk, Mr. Chilleri, members of law enforcement, guests, and most importantly, Scranton Class 245. It is my privilege to speak to you tonight during this commencement ceremony. I feel at home here. My mother graduated from this very stage in 1947 when it was then Scranton Central High School. 2 years later, she obtained her business degree from Lackawanna College. When I was a young lawyer in the 90s, I began my teaching career here at Lackawanna College. Now, 25 years later, Mr. Chilleri and I are working together to integrate the district attorneys with the Act 120 program. We hope that that relationship will not only help the cadets, but make us better lawyers. They call the district attorney the top cop. It's a title I feel very honored to be called, but not necessarily appropriate to be named. For I view each of you who have the courage to wear a badge, protect our streets, to be far worthier of that title. With that said, I'm very grateful to work side by side with the fine police officers in Lackawanna County, whether they're from the state police, Scranton police, municipal officers, or Lackawanna County detectives. As the son and grandson of lawyers, I have the utmost respect for law enforcement, My grandfather served as first assistant district attorney in the late 30s. He was a seasoned trial lawyer at the time, at the end of his career, and he took the position to try all the major trials at the time. The DA who was elected was only 26 years old. My grandfather was a self-made man, orphaned at 13, and began working in the mines to support his siblings. He was raised by his oldest sister, who stressed the significance of education. And despite adversity, he completed high school, college, and became a teacher first, before ultimately studying law and opening our family practice in 1906. With that type of foundation, I knew at a very young age what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a prosecutor and follow in my grandfather's footsteps, because he was my hero. I think it's important in life to follow great mentors. They can teach you a lot about life, and they can show you that anything is possible if you set goals, work hard, and have resilience to persevere. Throughout my life, I've relied on many heroes, most of whom who weren't famous, weren't related to me, or quite frankly, weren't even aware that I was following their every step, their every move, just trying to be half as good as they were. And in the meantime, I became uniquely me. And throughout that process, it taught me many life's lessons. I'd like to share with you 3 of those lessons that guide me in life. They appear rather simple to follow, however, most do not. But if they are followed, I do believe they are the most important things that you can do to ensure success. Ones that I've personally used to guide my life, ones that I follow to this day, ones that I've attempted to instill in my 4 children. Follow your dreams. The famous author Tom Clancy, who wrote many popular novels, some of which have been made into movies, The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, and Clear and Present Danger, to name a few, he spoke at my graduation from college. I remember his words like they were yesterday. He said, "Nothing is as real as a dream. The world can change around you, but your dream will not. Responsibilities need not erase it. Duties need not obscure it, because a dream is within you. No one can take it away." My dream started when I was 5 years old. I wanted to be a trial lawyer. And that dream propelled me throughout many difficult times, because I never lost sight of the goal. Despite the obstacles I had to overcome to make that dream a reality. Each of you have a goal to work in law enforcement, and I encourage you to follow that dream and set goals. Set big goals. You may never know where they are going to lead unless you chase them. And in the end, if you do not obtain them, you will be likely to be far more successful, happier for having tried. Work hard. One of my favorite quotes is, "Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard." While NBA star Kevin Durant is credited with that line, it was first said by a little-known high school basketball coach named Tim Notke. I learned so much from playing high school basketball. I'm the tall, dark-haired guy in the middle. The picture was actually taken before practice began, and I had run a few miles before practice. My coach used to say he never met anyone who ever drowned in their own sweat. I think I was trying to challenge his words. Ideally talented people work hard, but I have seen time and time again mediocrity beat talent because of work. There's no substitute for hard work, and working hard on your weaknesses can make them your strengths. You know, you can take a personality test to determine your strengths and weaknesses. Has anyone ever taken one of those Myers-Briggs personality tests? You answer a whole bunch of random questions, and then it defines you as an animal. My favorite is the dove, owl, peacock, eagle. Doves are peaceful and friendly. Owls are analytical and determined. Peacocks are showy and optimistic. Eagles are bold and authoritative. No matter how many times I take that test, I come out an owl. I so much want to be the eagle. I even try to change my answers. I still can't be the eagle. I have a feeling most of you are eagles. But you don't need a test to know what you need to focus on to be better. In our office, we prepare cases as if they're going to go to trial because I want to be in a position to negotiate from strength when reaching a resolution. When we know that a defendant is not going to accept responsibility, every attorney, no matter how many years' experience, must perform mock openings, direct examinations, and closings. And then when it's all over, we review again. Whether we win or lose, we strive to learn, grow, improve. Have no fear. And that's not to be taken literally, especially in your line of work. Fear and your instincts may not only save your life, but others who you have sworn to protect. I love Franklin Roosevelt's quote, "Bravery is not the absence of fear, but the action in face of fear." I will share with you one of my greatest fears that I had to overcome. The fear of speaking in public. Don't laugh, I'm not alone. According to a survey from Psychology Today, people's number one fear is to speak in public. Number two is death. That means the average person would rather die than speak in public. Think of what that meant to a young man who wanted to be a lawyer since he was 5. You know, you just can't be a lawyer if you can't speak in public. It's like the pilot who has a fear of flying. To this day, I vividly remember my first speech I delivered in the 8th grade. This teacher suggested I speak about something I love doing. So I was into ping pong in those days, kind of like kids are into video games now. I played it all the time. So I decided that I would talk about table tennis. I only had to speak for 3 minutes. I could play that game for hours. Surely I could talk about a game I was so passionate about for 3 minutes. Well, after telling my classmates how to keep score, I ran out of things to say only after about 30 seconds. I had 2.5 minutes left. Out of sympathy, my teacher started to ask me questions. How do you hold a paddle? How do you serve? And despite his help, I finished my 3-minute speech in less than a minute. I got a 70. But can you believe that teacher held onto that paper for 40 years and handed it to me the day I got sworn in as district attorney? It did remind me of what I had to do to conquer my fear. I studied great speakers, I looked for speaking opportunities, and I worked hard. And now I speak all the time in public, even to the point where some wish I would say less. I promise, I'm almost done. Just 3 more short stories. Each day, you will need to be brave in your line of work, never knowing if you will encounter danger, always knowing danger is a possibility. Law enforcement does a remarkable job honoring those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, fulfilling their official duties. On Wednesday, I attended Scranton's memorial service honoring those fallen officers. They honored Officer Wilding, class of 2012, and the sacrifice that he made. And while we honor those members in law enforcement who have given their life to protect others, I don't believe that we do enough to honor those who serve amongst us every day. They are the unsung heroes whose efforts often go unrecognized because a catastrophe was avoided and an arrest wasn't made, or it doesn't make the news. It's just part of their job. I've witnessed these events every day since assuming office. You don't have to look far to see heroes among you, ones that you can learn from, ones that you can model your career. The first crime scene that I attended was a shooting in West Side. Unknown to me at the time, the victim was a friend. Our sons played basketball together and graduated high school the same year. One of my detectives, Tom Davis, class of 1991, was a member of the SWAT team. Tom was a part of the entry team that had to go in because the suspect refused to come out. When the tear gas didn't work, SWAT entered the house. SWAT team flushed the house from top to bottom. The suspect had either escaped or was cooped up in the basement. Tom was the first to enter the dark, smoke-filled basement with only his flashlight to see. It's like putting your high beams on in fog. The light bounces back, impairing your visibility. The main room of the basement was empty. Then Tom noticed an old coal chute. Tom proceeded to crawl into the coal chute when, bang, a shot rang out. Tom was only a few feet away. Fortunately, the suspect took his own life and not Tom's. The suspect had 200 rounds of ammunition on him that day, so we know a self-inflicted wound was not his first plan. I saw Tom within minutes after the shot. He and his buddies debriefed and drank a coffee. They acted as though it was just another day in the office. I will never forget how cool, calm, and collected they all were. And while the story made the news, there's not a word about Tom or his team members, the risk they took, or the service they provided. Just 3 weeks ago, we avoided a rampage of violence with a quick arrest. There were 3 random acts of violence in a 24-hour period, 2 drive-by shootings and 1 kidnapping. Ivy Brinzel, Moscow chief and class of 1989, acted swiftly, not only to make an arrest, but also notified Scranton police about the 2 and linked the 2 previous drive-by shootings. At the press conference, she stood by my side but would not say a word to the media, just doing her job. And although her efforts were heroic and saved lives, her good deeds never made the paper. She is also an unsung hero. Then there are the steps in the process that are just not sensational, but equally important. Mike Fushko, class of 1994, Scranton police officer who maintains evidence logs. If I knew him earlier in his career, when he walked the beat, I may have a better story. But what he does on a day-to-day basis is as important to the successful prosecution of a case. He gathers logs and stores all crime scene evidence. I cannot prove a case without him, but no one knows it. His job is behind the scenes. He testifies when needed and never receives public recognition. In fact, he'd probably be upset that I was mentioning his name here tonight. You don't have to look very far to see everyday unsung heroes among you, each just doing their job, not looking for recognition. You have made a wonderful but difficult career choice. As police, you will be asked to make decisions in a second that can affect others for a lifetime. Tonight started with a dream, and you have worked hard to attain your goal. You must continue to push and achieve and never let fear cause you not to face a challenge. Some of you already have role models to follow, friends or family who are cops. I always love to see when someone's father or sibling hands out the diploma. You just get the feeling that somebody did something right. I encourage each of you as you go on and accomplish great things, look around you and learn from others. You will be surprised what you can learn. And despite how much you mimic the great qualities of someone that you admire and model it, you will always be uniquely you, a better you, for you will be the best of all those you admire. Congratulations. Thank you for your dedication, and I look forward to the opportunity to work with each of you someday.
We're now a part of our program. We will, we will be giving out several awards. The awards are given to cadets for a variety of categories. The cadets do not know until this moment who the recipients are. The first award is the Driver's Proficiency Award, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police Association. This award will be presented by Academy Assistant Director Robert Jolly. The award is presented to Class Lieutenant Seth Nelson. The next award is the Handgun Proficiency Award. It is sponsored by the Northeast Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police Association. I'll ask Academy Operations Coordinator Will Oliphant to join me and present this award to Cadet Matthew Bond. The highest Scholastic Award, this is the highest average of all course scores combined. The cadets participate in 940 hours of training, 27 different exams. The award is presented in memory of our past director and friend, Mary Ann Grippo. Academy Assistant Director, Chief Robert Jolly, will be presenting this award to Cadet Jeff Scholastic. Another example of the collaboration between our academy and local law enforcement is the Trooper Joshua D. Miller Physical Fitness Award. The recipient is chosen based on a combined score of 1.5 miles in the 300-meter run throughout the initial, midpoint, and final testing in physical training. Tonight's award will be presented by Academy Operations Coordinator Will Oliphant to Cadet Nelson Morales. The next award is a very special award. Each graduating class selects one member to receive the J.J. Lomax Spirit of Distinction Award. The award is named for one of our graduates, fellow officer and friend, Officer Danny J.J. Lomax. Officer Lomax was an officer with the Forest City Police Department and Mayfield Police Department. In addition, J.J. was a volunteer firefighter with several local fire departments. Officer Lomax was killed when he came upon a traffic accident while off duty. He tried to render aid to the driver and stepped on a live wire and was electrocuted. I had the pleasure of knowing J.J. He was a friend, as have many of our instructors have known JJ. He embodied service, selflessness, dedication, and commitment to the mission of service to others. It is in the spirit of selflessness that we have named this award for JJ. This award is given to the cadet in each Scranton class who the class believes embodied the same qualities of honor, dedication, service, courage, selflessness that JJ had. The J.J. Lomax Spirit of Distinction Award is sponsored by the Northeast FOP Lodge 63, where J.J. was a member. I will ask retired Forest City Chief Lucas to join us to present this award. Class 245 selected Cadet Stephen Harvey as the recipient of this award. Well, we've all waited for the next part of this program, the presentation of certificates. I now will ask the Never Forgotten Motorcycle Ride President Paul Stefersky, Treasurer Mike Camerata to join us on stage. This is a new addition to our academy. It is a partnership that we formed with the Never Forgotten Ride. This organization's mission is dedicated to the welfare of officers and first responders and keeping the memory of our fallen first responders alive. They are donating a $100 gift certificate from Star Uniform to each graduating class member for the purchase of essential police equipment that they will need as they begin their careers in law enforcement. We cannot thank them enough for this program. The last several classes, we have been presenting this award along with Never Forgotten, and each member receives a gift certificate, and they've all felt very thankful and wanted me to express that to you. As we present the certificates, the cadets are given an option to have someone in law enforcement or the military present their certificate. Some have chosen to have that person join them on stage as they receive their certificate. At this time, I will ask Academy Assistant Director Bob Jolly and Academy Operations Coordinator Will Oliphant to assist me in presenting the certificates. In addition, you will notice that there are two officers wearing the uniforms of the department that they were recently hired by. Cadet Benjamin Siebert was hired by Tunkhannock Police Department, and Cadet Macedo was hired by Portland PD. I'm requesting all those individuals that will be presenting certificates to please head over to where Officer Hughes is located. Didn't see you over there. Academy Operations Coordinator Oliphant and Assistant Director Jolly will be assisting in presenting the certificates.
First Cadet Nelson Morales. The next cadet, Zachary Sawyer, and the presenting person is Captain Segulia from Archibald PD. The next cadet is Raymond Kosiak. The presenter is retired Petty Officer, 2nd Class Keeley, United States Navy. The next cadet, Matthew Bond. Next cadet, Bailey Conforti. Next cadet, Stephen Harvey. The next cadet, Erica Haynes. The presenter, Patrolman John Cantafio, Scranton PD. Next cadet, Justin Luciano. Next cadet, Jeffrey Schlasta. The next cadet, Gage Lewis. The presenter, Patrolman Joe Jancic, Scranton PD. The next cadet, Joseph Leacano. The next cadet, Timothy Merkel. Next cadet, Martin Soltan. Next cadet, Eric Bartos. The next cadet is Class Captain Elijah Brown. The presenter is our President, Mark Volk, United States Army Colonel, retired. Next cadet, Lieutenant Seth Nelson. The presenter is Ted Nelson, DEA. Next cadet, Ruiz Macedo. The presenter, Trooper Ryan Fraunfelter, Pennsylvania State Police, Troop M, Bethlehem. Next cadet, Benjamin Seibert. The presenter, Chief Ed Morrisdale, Tunkhannock Township Police Department. Next cadet, Brandon Muta. And our last recipient, Nathan Ensley.
How about a round of applause for Class 245? The next portion of our program has a lot of history behind it. Several years back, the decision was made to have our cadets honor fallen officers and to learn from it. Each class is instructed to choose a fallen officer to whom they dedicate their training and graduation. This tradition underscores for the cadets the serious nature of this job and how important it is to perform their duties with honor, not only for themselves and those they serve, but in order to do justice to the men and women and canines who laid down their lives in this profession. Each class upon graduation has become referred to as the name of the fallen officer. Class 245 has chosen Pennsylvania State Police Trooper Paul Ritchie. End of watch, 1/13/2010. Trooper Ritchie was shot and killed when he and another trooper responded to a domestic disturbance call in Cranberry Township. Both troopers arrived at the scene and exited their vehicles. As they approached the house, a male voice called from a window for the trooper to return to their cars. The trooper then ordered the man to show himself, and at that point, Trooper Ritchie was hit in the neck with a rifle round fired from the window of the residence. The other trooper immediately returned fire to provide cover to get Trooper Ritchie out of the line of fire. Upon the arrival of troopers, 2 troopers provided cover fire while additional troopers removed Trooper Ritchie from the scene. Trooper Ritchie was transported to the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. The suspect then murdered his wife before committing suicide. Investigators found 3 guns in the bedroom before they couldn't do anything. Trooper Ritchie had served with Pennsylvania State Police for 16.5 years. He was survived by his wife and son and daughter. Lackawanna College Police Academy will forever remember Trooper Paul G. Ritchie. Class 245 will now be recognized as Trooper Paul G. Ritchie. This graduation ceremony is dedicated to him and his dedication to service and sacrifice. Here with us tonight is Lackawanna College Police Academy instructor, Connie Devens, retired Pennsylvania State Police Trooper. She will be accepting the fallen officer's plaque on behalf of the Pennsylvania State Police. This plaque is presented to honor Trooper Ritchie. It displays our, it displays our Academy patch and inscribed is the names of each member of Class 245. Instructor Connie Devens, please join us on stage to accept this plaque. In addition, Class 245 conducted a very successful bowling fundraiser in memory of Trooper Ritchie. They raised $881 that will be donated to the Patterson Ritchie Memorial Fundraising Scholarship Fund. How about a round of applause? Another tradition of the Lackawanna College Police Academy is the presentation to each cadet of a challenge coin, depicting the Academy logo and mission, honor, integrity, and courage. It includes the department patch and name of the fallen officer and his end of watch. Each cadet receives a challenge coin along with their graduation packet. Memorializing this special evening and recognizing the fallen officer, Trooper Paul Ritchie, the challenge coin appears behind you on the screen. This tradition was started many years ago, again to recognize our fallen officers. One of our final portions of the program is something that we call the banner ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise? Captain Brown and Sergeant Haynes of Scranton Class 245 will be participating in this part of the program for the banner presentation. Sergeant Haynes will receive the banner, and Captain Brown will be assisting her by holding the guidon. Sergeant Haynes. Captain Brown. As Sergeant Haynes attaches the banner that bears the trooper's name, Trooper Ritchie, this banner will forever be part of our academy. His name, his department patch, and the class number appears on the banner. The guidon is adorned with streamers bearing the names of the fallen officers who have been honored by our past academy graduates. The guidon then stands at the entrance of our academy as a reminder to each current and incoming cadet of those who have gone before them in this profession, so that all of our trainees can respect the importance and magnitude of the commitment they are making. Sergeant Haynes will be attaching the banner to the guidon, as our bagpiper will join us in honoring the fallen officer and all fallen officers. Thank you. In closing, I would like to thank everyone. Again, family, friends of Lackawanna College, honored guests. Class 245, you've made it. You join a legacy of officers that over the last 43 years of the police academy have graduated and moved on in their careers in law enforcement. During your time at the police academy, the cadets have gained knowledge, skills, and a foundation of expertise in many different areas. You've made a commitment to stand in the gap between us and those who seek to do us and our fellow citizens harm. And for that, we are proud of each and every one of you. I'm honored to say that I would be willing to serve with each and every one of them. They will become fine officers, guardians of society. The legacy of mission and service before self continues on, and I leave you with this final challenge. Stay true to our mission and core values: honor, integrity, and courage. You've heard me say it many times. Do the right thing, the right time, the right way, and do the right thing even when no one's looking. You always have a home at your academy, and with that I say, be safe. Congratulations. Job well done. You now will become fellow officers, a brotherhood and sisterhood that will survive forever and ever. Drill Instructor Hughes, for the final time, please take command of Class 245.